This is Aulani. Aulani means messenger of the chief. So Disney, when they created this resort, made a pact with the Hawaiian people to tell the story and the history of Hawaii to thousands of visitors every single year. That's why it's called Messenger of the Chief. So in this review, which of course is out of 50 points, like always, we'll go through the ambiance, the it factor, the dining, the service, and the room. So take a look at all of those different categories throughout this review. It's also important to note that I am not sponsored by Disney. This is just an honest, genuine review of what it's like to stay here and book a room at full price, which we'll get into a little bit later. The entire resort itself is split in half. So on the right side of the resort, it is the masculine side of the history of Hawaii, which means that the architecture is more angular and sharp, and the murals depict Maui and the male side of the history of Hawaii. On the left side of this resort is the feminine history, and it's a female mural on the left, and the architecture is more curved and rounded and softer. And they come together right in the center here with this mountain that you see behind me. That is just one part of the many incredible things that Disney has done. You can really tell this is Hawaii with pixie dust. The magic continues in the hallway on the way to your room. Welcome to a standard room here at Aulani. So one of the first things that you'll notice when you walk in is that this room feels like a standard room at maybe a Motel 6 or a Holiday Inn. That was my first impression when I first walked into this room, which was really disappointing. So when I first looked online, I noticed that the suites looked really spectacular. Tried to book one of those at the front desk, $5,000 a night. You have your standard bed here, so let's do a bed test. This is a pretty comfortable bed. It has a ton of give to it. You can see it really drops down here. If you like soft beds, you will not like this. There's clearly no springs in this bed, or they are really worn out. And right over here is where your kids would ostensibly sleep. So you move this to the side, you take this off. There's a comforter in here. And then move this out of the way. This actually converts into a twin size bed. You convert it yourself. This is the only Disney reference in the entire room, and I look through everything, and it is Mickey Mouse holding a ukulele. Kind of a scary looking Mickey Mouse, if I'm gonna be honest. In the entranceway, there's a little kitchenette, which is not standard in every room, so we did get a room that has a kitchenette, but one thing that you'll notice that is huge for me for this room, there is no water, no welcome amenities, no snacks, and I'm not gonna say how much the room is, but it is over $1,000 a night. Some people may have booked the room as part of a Disney Resorts package, and if you've done that, you pay extra to get housekeeping as well. And you know what, that actually is kind of representative of the room. If again, I'm being honest, these reviews are always transparent, always honest. I love Disney, I grew up with Disney. This room really is underwhelming, honestly, for what you're given. So here's the balcony. Overall, the theme is pretty small. So if you're with a family and you're just getting a standard room here, think about that before you book the room. If you're gonna spend any time in the room at all you really have is what you've seen so far. But what you haven't seen yet is the bathroom. Let's take a look. The bathroom is equally as underwhelming as the room. We've got a dripping shower faucet with a lot of buildup, hard water buildup. Again, a motel shower, where you have this kind of stained flooring to it, a folded wet towel there from the dripping. It kind of feels like they're hitting the bare minimums, which is disappointing for Disney. You can hear this dripping behind me, but let's test the shower. Comes out pretty nicely from the rain shower, but then here, come around and that switches it, but you keep coming and it goes down out of here, which kind of has an inconsistent spray. It's just not great. Overall, we're just gonna put that away. It's just not great. So that's the room. Look, if you're here in Hawaii, you're not gonna spend a lot of time in the room, but I wanted to make sure to show you it because when you stay here, it is important to know how comfortable, or in this case, unfortunately, uncomfortable the room actually is. Literally sitting here very thirsty during this review. So with that being said, I gave the room a 5.5 out of 10. But again, you're probably not spending all your time in the room, so let's go see the rest of this resort. Now I'm curious what dining options they have here at Aulani. This is Off the Hook, which is a restaurant right next to the pool here, and you can order baked salmon. That was fantastic. Welcome to Makahiki. Breakfast has been solid at Aulani. I would say the best meals here, however, are the lunch and dinners. This is the Olelo room. So it's kind of like a Duolingo type restaurant where you have music playing in the background, a full bar, and everything in here is speaking Hawaiian and teaching you how to do so. Let's see if the food is as good as the education. Olelo is actually really good, and I was very pleasantly surprised. You don't really expect the food to be extraordinary at Disney, but this one so far has been excellent. This is Ama Ama, the fine dining at Aulani. It's a 4-course Hawaiian dinner menu tonight. So, Hawaii doesn't actually have any Michelin stars, but this is a fine dining multi-course menu like what you'd find at a Michelin restaurant. They give you a little appetizer beforehand, which is usually a way to kind of reset your palate, and it often sets the tone for the dishes to come. This is the main course, the catch of the day, which looks amazing, and the ribeye. Fantastic dinner. So that was all of the restaurants here at Aulani, and overall it was so surprising in a good way. I didn't really have high expectations for a resort like this when it's so much about the ambiance, but it really did blow us away. The only critique I would have on the dining here is the Ulu Cafe, which is your grab-and-go breakfast and drip coffee. It would be so fantastic if there was a specialty coffee shop on site with teas and espresso, but really that is my only critique and feedback. So I gave the dining an 8.5 out of 10. After you've spent the full day eating enough for 3 people, what better way to work it all off than by going to the pool and trying out the water park? So this is what I think is the best part of the Aulani Hotel, the outdoor area and the pool. This is Waikolohe, which means mischievous waters. It's 8,200 square feet of zero entry pool behind me that converts into a lazy river. It's about 10 minutes all the way around. Some families will come out here and take this lazy river all day and all night. This is Menehune, which is a kids play area that has a lot of these little mischievous figures. So you can hear little laughing, there's different spouts, and there's interactivity with this. So it's a very fun play area for kids and adults, honestly. So the grounds here at Aulani are beautifully manicured. Fountains and waterfalls, tropical plants everywhere. Literally feels like you're at Disney World when you're walking around. Just the Hawaiian version of it, of course. One of the coolest things about the property is that the Imagineers that created Animal Kingdom also designed the volcano in the center here, and they hid some carvings of animals into the side of the volcano that represent animals that are native to Oahu in Hawaii, which is just such an incredible tie-in that not many people know about. So of course they don't allow professional cameras in the spa, but I had to use my iPhone to still show you how incredible this is. They guide you through a experience when you first arrive. You pick an intention stone that you throw into a pool, and then they guide you to this outdoor area, which is a beautiful, tranquil garden. There is literally no one here. There's 4 different jacuzzis that are all different temperatures, 6 or 7 different rain showers, and then they come and bring you to your treatment, which, by the way, before you go into your treatment, they have coconut water and so many other different drinks to have. The ambiance at Aulani is truly spectacular, from the Hawaiian integrations to the carved animals and the volcano in the center, the resort being split with masculine and feminine. The temperature is always perfect. There's a slight breeze going through the trees. You can't really get much better than that, and Disney did it very, very, very well. I gave the ambiance a very high 9 out of 10. The crew here at Aulani are so kind and so present. But it wasn't perfect. Something seemed to be just a little bit off. So let's officially test the service. Time for the service test. This is Ryan.
Hi.
Just wondering if you have anyone on the staff that can do towel animals by chance?
Towel animals?
Mm-hmm. Like towel animals in the room, like make the towels into animals?
Let me find out. 1 moment.
Oh.
Thank you so much for holding. I do apologize. Unfortunately, not at the moment. We do not.
You don't have anyone who can do the towel animals?
No.
Oh, got it. Do you have anyone that could maybe bring some like Mickey ears up to the room by chance?
Mickey ears?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. We don't. We have some that you can purchase at the store.
Yeah, we're just trying to do something like special in the room that would kind of be a nice surprise.
We don't have that option anymore. We used to have an amenity where we could bring amenities to the room, but we don't. We discontinued that service when we reopened.
When was the reopening?
2020. We no longer have that department.
Oh, the department is gone. Okay, got it. Did that department also do like waters in the room and welcome amenities?
Yes, that would be anything to do with deliveries to the room. We no longer have that.
Okay, all right, well, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, bye-bye. That was a perfect example of how the service has been here at Aulani. And that's why this part of the review, the service score, has been really difficult. Because on one hand, you have some of the most kind, generous, very, very heartfelt people that are so happy to see you. On the flip side, what I've noticed is that in staying at Aulani, there's a lot of things like that. There's no waters in the room, there's no welcome gifts of any sort, there's no drinks when you check in. It feels like that entire touch that really makes this special and feels like they really value your business just went away. For that reason, I gave the service a 6 out of 10. So we just got the Magic Band Plus, which is a pretty cool thing they sell here. It lets you link your room card to your wrist so you can get into your room and make purchases around the resort. It also interacts with some of the artwork around the property and takes you on a scavenger hunt. Let's go see what we find. These little guys are called menehune, which are little workers basically, but they also are kind of whimsical and never finish their work. This kind of humor to these little statues. They're also all throughout the resort. The Hawaiian influences on this resort are truly felt in every aspect of your stay. But the it factor is really about that special thing that makes you tell your friends and family about it and makes you come back year after year. The it factor here is also very much contingent on this beach. It's a private, half-curved beach that is very calm, very tranquil, and for those reasons I gave the it factor a 7 out of 10. So that is Aulani, the Disney hotel here in Oahu, Hawaii. I hope you enjoyed this review video and thank you for watching all of it. And if you are watching to this point, please like and subscribe so other people like you can find hotels like this all over the world. It is now time for that final review out of 50, that final score. I would absolutely recommend Aulani for anyone who's staying here, especially for families with kids. The history of the Hawaiian people mixed with that special Disney magic really does still continue to show up in the hotel every day when you stay here. I gave Aulani, the Disney resort here in Hawaii, a 36 out of 50. We'll see you on the next one.